Can't you see where I'm doing Pokemon card videos here? You motherfucker. Maybe he's gonna shoot me with his nail gun. That would suck. What's going on, everyone? Jan Hella here. And today, we're gonna be taking a look at one of the main components of playing the Pokemon TCG, and that has to do with sleeves. In a previous video where I opened up the Pokemon Trainer's Toolkit, you get these sleeves. And they look cool. They are the new matte sleeves, which in my mind, I was thinking these were going to be fantastic sleeves for playing the Pokemon card game. Just because the previous way that they used to make sleeves, these were very, very glossy and they would stick together. They were more so good for collecting. And that's how I initially felt for the Pokemon sleeves, that you would have them in your binder with a nice silver background. And when they did these matte sleeves, I had high hopes for them until I actually used them. They look good. This is such a cool design that I really wish that this was more... definitely a better product. Unfortunately, it's not. So here I have a 60 card deck sleeved up in those sleeves, and for the most part, it looks good. They feel nice, they're matte, there's no real gloss to them. In a certain lighting, you're not getting a crazy glare that you can't see the card text. My issue is these still feel very, very sticky. So going through the deck, when you play your first quick ball or whatever searching card you have, you definitely want to fan out and see the cards, as clearly as possible. I still notice a lot of cards clump up, and like right here, this set right here, there's a good 3 cards, and like that is easily a huge detriment in the game, because you're going to be fanning through, and when you're doing your search, you want to see if you have a full, play set of, let's say, Professor's Research, or in this case, Crobat. Since this is the Eternatus V deck, it's just a mess. I'm not really playing the game right now because there's no real place to play. So I've just been essentially kind of playing solitaire with myself just to kind of get through the sequencing. And as you can tell, there's already a considerable amount of wear on these cards. And so if you're in a tournament, you could be flagged for marked cards because only certain cards will have this same level of wear on your, on your deck. Here we have the Evital, and clearly this one has that huge ding in the corner. It's just not the best deck sleeves to play overall. That is pretty much gone. And I gotta say, if these were the sleeves just as is, this actually isn't too bad. A little sticky because of the glue that was meant to hold this thing on. This level of wear and tear for just playing solitaire with myself is pretty bad. So if you guys can, I would highly suggest ditching these sleeves and doing an upgrade for Dragonshield. I absolutely love Dragonshield sleeves. I used these as a kid back when Zany Brainy and Toys R Us used to do Pokemon card tournaments back in the base set / fossil days, and I've been using them ever since. These are some of my favorite sleeves, and I have one deck already sleeved up with these, so we can take a look at them. And here we have the Rapid Strike Urshifu and Dragapult VMAX deck. And fanning through this deck, there is no card getting stuck and losing count for any card. Any of your one-off, your auxiliary Pokemon, even your one-off trainers. You're not going to have to worry about that. So I am highly a fan of Dragonshield sleeves. I have a light directly above us, and the glare isn't killing me. Like, yeah, that's a little bit, but that's not that bad. I'm sure if you're like in an office, and granted, if you're playing Pokemon cards in an office, you probably should be doing your work instead, but that kind of lighting will probably give you more glare than anything else, but this, not so much. So even when you mash shuffle your deck like this, you're still getting a decent amount of separation and randomization. When you do it with the Pokemon sleeves that you get from an ETB or the Trainer's Toolkit, like, it's, like I said, a lot of cards still get bunched up and you still get kind of messy. So the level of randomization is still there, but you're also killing, and I mean killing, the corners of your sleeves. So these sleeves are the Dragonshield mattes, and the back of the cards are not glossy, so they're not as sticky. They just feel better overall, especially if you're a sweaty-handed individual. But yeah, these are, Dragonshield sleeves are just so good. Very good for riffle shuffling. I don't do the bridge. I guess I have small hands. I don't know. Some people like to do huge bends and huge riffles. Myself, not so much. Even if that wasn't a deep riffle, that's still a pretty good amount of, randomization. And this isn't a video about like shuffling your deck by any means, but really showcasing how easy it is to shuffle your Dragonshield sleeves. We're going to take out these cards and re-sleeve them all together. As good looking as these sleeves are, this is a fantastic design. I really just wish that they put them in some better quality sleeves. Imagine if you're in a tournament setting and your sleeves are completely, being destroyed. You have to change your sleeves out, and granted, you typically would bring extra sleeves if that's the case, but with how many sleeves there are, being completely destroyed from this level of shuffling that you can be marked for cheating, these sleeves only come with what, I think 65, in total. So I've already changed out 2 or 3 of these previous to this, prior to this video, and we already have more than the spare cards, or the spare sleeves, to replace. I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards that need to be re-sleeved. That's pretty terrible. Another thing I want to note about these sleeves is that there's a lot of space in the front, kind of like Scrafty skin, just super, super loose up here. And I don't know if that's going to, attribute any bit more wear to the card. Like this is just super, super loose. Like there's a bubble right here. And I don't know if it's going to attribute any more wear to this card moving around the sleeve, but that's something I would much rather not deal with. Real quick, this is the Eternatus deck, and I'm going to re-sleeve this in the Dragonshield sleeves. The way I like to get Pokemon cards out of their sleeves would be to pinch it, open it up here, and then just pull it out. If you do want to reuse these sleeves, or even just for putting them in a binder, you don't necessarily stretch out the sleeves to the point where you can't fit a card in there snugly and safely. So I like to pinch them open and then one and done. So comment down below. Let me know what decks you guys are currently playing in person or online. We will be waiting for in-person play to happen, and I can't wait for that. A lot of my local card shops are kind of getting ready with getting in-person play. They're making space, kind of getting their protocols in place in terms of how they're going to facilitate having so many more people in person than they're used to having. And I'm sure it's going to suck for the first while because they unfortunately never had a chance to experiment with getting in-person play during a pandemic. So I'm definitely curious to see how it goes. I think they might limit capacity. And if there's as many people excited to play just like I am, there might be some people who get turned away, and that's going to be a little rough, because for myself, the closest place that I can play that is relatively competitive is a good 30, 40 minutes away. So the last thing you want to do is drive out somewhere where they don't have room for you to play. So I'm hoping that some of these places will maybe implement some reservation system, just so you can sign up online, get to the place, and be able to play without worrying about being turned away, or, if your level of comfort isn't made for maybe being around more than a dozen people, you can kind of gauge that way if you are comfortable with going to a live event. As for myself, I'm personally not overly concerned. As long as people are being diligent and responsible, then hey, let's get back to some semblance of normal, sooner than later at least. So here we have our sleeves undone, and let's replace them. So here I have the Dragonshield Purple Matte Non-Glare sleeves. I've never tried this one before. The green ones I use aren't the non-glare, so they have a slight more glossy front. So I'm definitely curious to see how these ones are. And I got these at my local shop for $12.49. I'm sure some places sell them for a little bit cheaper, but as much as I still want to support local, buying cards from them is kind of impossible just because of their egregious price points. But something like this, where it might be just another $1 more than a competitor, isn't necessarily the worst. Oh man, these are beautiful. So these are the Dragonshield Matte Purple sleeves, and I love these textures. I had another box open. I don't know where it is, so opening a new one with the non-glare front is going to be a treat. So I think that these sleeves are going to be very much so similar to the Pokemon sleeves, where the front will be more of a flatter finish versus this one. It's super transparent, which I personally like, because definitely a lot more clarity when it comes to the card, but I think these will definitely hold itself well in a tournament with the lighting being terrible. Brand new sleeves, so they haven't had any cards fit in there before, so they are kind of just kind of stuck. So we want to pinch them, squeeze them out that way a little bit, get a nice little S curve, and then slide one side in, Get the other and push it in. That's not too bad. Yeah, it's definitely more of a matte finish, as you can tell. A little bit less clarity. I mean, just by the slightest. But when it hits the light, I think that'll be the biggest indicator of the matte finish. So let's glare it up. Fuck. I don't know if that's any better. You know, but if you don't like this shinier, slight more glossy front, then these are definitely the way to go. So here is the quick ball from the regular Dragonshield mats. Now as we sleeve up this quick ball into the Dragonshield mat with the non-glare front, let's see how much different they look. Very subtle differences, you know. This one definitely, like I said, a little bit more on the more transclearance, more like the true image of the card. This one is slightly more muted. Not bad though. I mean, it's just such a minute difference. Yeah, when you take a look at it, you see a little bit less, slightly less definition, but not too bad. I mean, my local card shop didn't have these in the non-glare front, so it's not the worst. They're sure as hell not the Pokemon card sleeve, so I'll take it. So let us finish sleeving the rest of this deck, and this will probably be a time lapse. So, time lapse. All right, so another thing you can do to protect your cards, if you so choose, you can buy these perfect fit sleeves. Dragonshield makes them, as well as KMC. These ones are not Dragonshields. I haven't tried them yet through Dragonshield. You can use these to add a little bit extra protection for your more rare cards if you so choose. Obviously, if you're going to use the double sleeves, you'd have to have your whole deck be double sleeved because it adds a considerable amount more bulk to the card. So I'm going to essentially waste this sleeve because once this double sleeve card goes inside, this can be much more expanded. And so having another card in there, it's not going to feel the same. So I'm not a huge fan of that. But I used to double sleeve all my decks. The hard part about that being it has a considerable bit more height to the deck. I want to say double the height of a regular deck, but at least additional third. You got to be careful because if you put them in too quickly, you can actually blow out the bottom of the sleeve. So you have that top sleeve inside. Pop this bad boy in, and yeah, now you have a double sleeved card that has a bit more protection in terms of I guess the elements coming in and out of the sleeve because you have the top of the card protected as well as the bottom. So let me know what you guys think are your favorite sleeves for the Pokemon TCG game. For me, Dragon Shields are one of the best ways to go, but let me know what you guys are playing. And what are your guys' favorite ones? I mean, everyone has a different, have a different flavor. Some people do like the Pokemon sleeves that you get from ETBs. I myself, as I've mentioned, not a huge fan, but I get the appeal. Plus, free. If it's something that you have and you don't have access to a store that sells something like Dragon Shield, yeah, by all means, use whatever is allotted to you. But I will link in the description a couple of links for Dragon Shield sleeves, as well as various other double, inner sleeves, I guess, just to if you guys are interested in double sleeving your decks, at least you kind of have the option to do so, and I'll give you guys the links in the description to make it easier to figure out which ones work, because the ones I've tried are absolutely fantastic, and they do fit perfectly around the Pokemon TCG card, and fits in pretty much any sleeve, really. For a brand new deck, brand new sleeved deck like this, it's probably going to take a few shuffles for it to kind of, break in, I guess. Not really. You just want to, kind of get your oils on there so the cards aren't so like slippery and slick and sharp. Yeah, let's just say these corners are very sharp, so be aware of that when getting these sleeves, because if you have sensitive skin due to all the hand sanitizer and hot water you've been using, yeah, you might want to take notes. Not saying it'll cut skin, but you'll definitely feel a little prick. That's what she said. That's what I said. The deck is still a little bit full of air. You'd want to press them down a little bit, just try to compress some of that air out of there. Don't do it too hard because you can literally blow out the bottom. I've had it happen to several cards in the past, and it's not exactly fun to have to re-sleeve a deck or any card, because these aren't cheap. These aren't cheap sleeves, but these definitely go through like butter. Pour you in like no other. Oh, shit. They are very, very slippery. I don't know if it's more so because of this matte, the matte front that makes it more slippery, or the fact that they're new, but you could easily lay this thing down and yeah, it's kind of like a magic trick. Because I know these ones are a little bit more slightly sticky, I guess, but we'll see how that goes. Because if we just seen how that went, if these are indeed gonna stay just as slippery, oh man, that's gonna be a little rough to play. We'll see how it is. I mean, that's the thing. We'll never know until we actually do it, right? So. But yeah, so let me know what sleeves you guys are enjoying. These ones, like I said, Dragonshield are definitely one of my favorites. The non-glare fronts are gonna be broken in. We'll see how that goes. But for now, let us open up a Vivid Voltage pack, as we've been doing at the end of every video, in hopes of chasing down the Big Fat Pikachu. Hopefully the hyper rare version this time around. Code card. Take it. 1, 2, 3 to the front, get rid of the water energy. That's a fire energy, the exact opposite of that. Comment down below, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this video with some friends. And until the next time, we can pomp hard, play hard, hopefully we can play soon. Reverse Hollows of Charmeleon in the rare. Oh! Aegis/VMAX. We'll take it.